Today we're going to tie a little squirmy wormy. If you can handle a San worm, this is really no different. It's just the material. Instead of ultra chenille, we're using squirmy worm material. I think it's a silicone material, really flexible. Just got to be careful with it that you don't use too much tension when you tie it in. So I'm starting off with thread. This is red thread. You can use brown thread for this color, whatever. I tie this in a few different colors. I've got red squirmy worm material. I've got a dark red, which is probably my favorite, but I needed some brown, so we're doing brown. So we're just going to tie the thread in, run it to the bend of the hook, and then we're going to apply some head cement just to the threads. And the reason we do this, we don't want the thread to slip down when we're casting those long distances and really shooting it out there. Also helps when we're fighting fish, that kind of stuff. We do have to let this head cement sit for a minute. The reason is some head cements can jeopardize the integrity of the squirmy worm material and actually eat into it. But we'll make sure this dries, and then we're just going to take a section of squirmy worm, leave a nice tag end on it. We're going to pinch it, do a loose wrap between my fingers, cinch it down, give another wrap here, and I'll be careful that the squirmy worm material does not spin when you tie it in, and don't tie it in too tight. You tie it in too tight, you'll actually cut it. So I'm going to run the thread ahead a few wraps, tie it in again, just with a loose wrap pinch between my finger, pull it tight, give it another wrap, and another wrap, pull it back, run the thread up again. We're going to repeat the process one final time. Pinch it, tighten, give it a couple more wraps, don't let it spin around. That's a big problem with this. And then we'll pull it back, form a head. We'll go ahead and give it a little whip finish. And if you look at this fly, there's really nothing to it, just represents a worm floating down the river or stream. We'll cut that off, and then we can trim the squirmy wormy to the length you want. I'm just going to give it a little snip on both ends. And this is really going to undulate in the water as it floats downstream. Super easy to tie. You can do San Juan worms, you can do squirmy worms as well. Now we're going to show this one more time, this time with a bead head on it. So we're going to do the same thing. Just tie in the thread, give it a little snip, run it back to the bend, apply a touch of head cement, let it dry, tie in our squirmy worm material right back there at the bend. Just a few wraps, run it forward, tie it in again, run the thread above the eye or above the bead, tie it in one last time, form a head, whip finish it, and trim it to length. It's that easy, very successful fly. Thank you for joining us today, and have a great day.